Captain Jack here. This is part 2 of my GBA Homebrew Games of 2024 video, where we look at 5 more great titles that emerged from the GBA Jam 2024 that finished just about a month ago. If you haven't seen part 1, the link is in the description. But this isn't a top 10 or anything like that, so if you really wanted to be a diva, I mean, you could watch this one first. It's not gonna upset me. Alright, maybe it would. Toll Runner is an auto runner that has you play as a mouse going through a series of larger-than-life levels to grab your piece of cheese. You can collect coins and diamonds to rack up your score, and jump or slow down by pressing up or down on the D-pad respectively. The strongest asset Toll Runner has to be its art style. It has big, well-animated sprites that have a sort of Saturday morning cartoon feel to them, and there's plenty of different environments to run through. The amount of detail each level has explains the bigger-than-normal ROM size for this game, although the scale of some of the graphics can be a little bit off. This car can't be more than 2 mice wide. Toll Runner is big and colorful and feels like a retail game. Zipline Zapper is a technical marvel. What you're looking at here is not a raycasted shooter like Doom or Duke Nukem, but an actual fully 3D environment with the ability to jump and look up and down. The only real gameplay here is shooting the targets. There's 2 rings to them, and hitting the center nets you more points, and they're all tallied at the end. There's some on-rail sections and the ability to move freely. Usually moving freely is the best option in a 3D game like this, but being on rails is better here, as having the movement done for you is nice because the GBA really has no way for you to aim and move at the same time. This is more of a graphical showcase. There's not that many bells and whistles here. There aren't any enemies, and the music is very simple. But it's just breathtakingly impressive seeing a fully 3D shooter running at a decent frame rate on the Game Boy Advance. Sekmet's playground is an endurance test. You'll be tossed into an arena and you'll have to avoid turning into red goblin soup. The only goal here is to survive, and there is a gauntlet of never-ending traps and enemies. At first it might seem a little on the easy side, but every wave adds more and more mines and saw blades. There's a rhythm to how these obstacles appear, and once you get the hang of it, you can really rack up an impressive high score, which is the only goal here, making it reminiscent of arcade games of old. The sleeper best feature here is just how amazing the art is in this game. There's a few full-screen cutscenes that look incredible, and the worst part is that there just isn't enough of them. Sekmet's Playground is a pretty simple title, but you'd be surprised how much it grows on you. Zoink is an interesting game. It's really a game of jokes, all being played on you. It's a sort of meta game where the point of the game itself is finding ways to break it. But it doesn't tell you that. You have to figure it out, and nothing is as it seems. Take the dialogue, for example. First, it seems like it's written by a, well, non-native speaker. But once you meet your rival character, you realize, no, the dev can write proper English just fine. Be strong. Once the battle begins, there is no escape. 1 damage? Nah, I don't really want to deal with that. I'll just skip it. I can't really go into Zoink anymore without spoiling all of its gags, so you have to give it a try. It takes maybe 20 minutes to beat if you don't know what you're doing, and its humor is hilariously on point. Sys Crusher is a nice concept with a fun theme. Here you'll play as a hacker getting contracts to take down different companies' online infrastructure. There's plenty of different objectives to complete here, but only the one in your contract will give you your reward. These goals can be anything from stealing files, establishing a backdoor, or destroying the CPU, bricking the entire system. On the creator site, they say the game is a mix between Robotron and Berserk, and I can definitely see the resemblance, but this is way heftier than either of those arcade games. The money you get from killing things can be used to buy either software or hardware, with the software being power-ups that you can bring with you to activate once per mission, and the hardware being more permanent stat upgrades, like health, damage, and more software slots. Every mission has a different layout, and you'll have to be very intentional with where you're going, as the more disruption you make, the higher your alert level, which makes the game throw more and more enemies at you. And you already have enough Dorito chips from hell to deal with. I sank hours into this one. It's gotta be the longest title in the entire game jam, and its gameplay loops are absolutely addicting. Intense music, a strong art style, and engaging gameplay makes this one a winner on all fronts. Which of all of these 10 great new homebrews was your favorite? don't forget to like and subscribe. But if you like disobeying directions and watch this video first instead of part 1, then dislike and unsubscribe. See, now you don't know what to do.